Hey everyone, welcome back to today's video. Buckle up, because this one is wild. We're diving into the courtroom of one of my all-time favorite judges, Judge Fletcher. Yesterday, a self-proclaimed sovereign citizen stepped into his courtroom, thinking he had it all figured out. From the first second, it was obvious this wasn't going to go his way. Judge Fletcher came in sharp, prepared, and ready to tear down every recycled argument, piece by piece. This is one of those hearings where you really don't want to blink. Every moment is a master class in shutting down nonsense.
Good morning, Mr. Emmetum. Do you have a lawyer today?
No, representing myself.
You were charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. It looks like you also, out of the same charge, picked up a fraud as well. I mean, okay, you can represent yourself. It's your absolute right. I mean, I don't know how smart it is. Have you ever represented yourself before?
Yeah, many times.
And how did that go?
I have many dismissals.
For what kind of cases?
I had a dismissal on unlawful carry before.
And you represented yourself?
Yes.
In this court?
Harris County.
Just found no PC.
Oh, well, I found no probable cause. That's why I got dismissed. You didn't represent yourself.
I was representing myself, but the judge did find no probable cause.
I found, wait, was it me?
No, it wasn't you.
It was
Well, I don't know. I think it was you.
June 9, 2022.
I found no probable cause.
I think that was you.
You didn't represent yourself for nothing, man. I did it. No. Okay. So, well, you can hope and wish and dream.
Here's why I love Judge Fletcher so much. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. He sees exactly what's happening, calls it out instantly, and always says what he's thinking. Yesterday, he faced a self-represented sovereign citizen who thought he discovered some secret legal code. Spoiler, he hadn't. Judge Fletcher sized him up in seconds.
If you want to represent yourself, you're entitled to do that, right? But, you know, well, I like to tell people it's like brain surgery. When you need brain surgery, when you need heart surgery, you know, are you going to do that on yourself? Because you're not trained, you know, you don't know how to perform open heart surgery. Same thing with the law. You know, you're not trained in it. I mean, I'm assuming that you didn't go to law school, did you? How far did you get in school?
I graduated school. I went to some college.
How far did you get?
2 years I got certificates. I mean, not through college, but I went to school.
Okay. So we're in the middle of trial now. And so I don't have the time to go through all of what they're called Faretta warnings to see whether you should represent yourself. I'm happy to do that. Why don't we delay it off a week? Are you working at this time?
Yeah, and I stay in Austin. I don't live in Houston, so.
What do you do for a living?
I have my own business.
Doing what?
Resell clothing, audio production.
How much money do you make a month?
I can't tell you, but it pays the bills.
You're very cryptic in all of your answers, you know, and not only that, but you going to Austin, if you represent yourself, you're going to have to meet with the DAs on a constant basis to get evidence. So that's going to require you to come here to Houston quite a bit.
I was ready to file my motion today if I needed to be.
Okay. Before I do that, though, I need to have a Faretta hearing. If you're willing to wait, we can do that a little bit later when I take a break in trial.
I had my other case upstairs the same day. The judge from when I came to my last year. Have you been up
there yet?
No, I haven't been up there yet.
Okay, so go up there. When you're done, come back down here. Don't forget to come back. If you don't come back, I'm going to issue a warrant. Go take care of yourself upstairs and come.
At this point, the defendant is briefly excused to handle other matters in a different courtroom. But when he returns, things get real. It's time for a Faretta hearing, a legal check to see if he's even competent to represent himself. And that's when the real fireworks start. Everything he thought he knew gets exposed under a very bright spotlight.
Are you ready?
Yes, Jim.
Okay. All right. So today is September 11th, 2024. It's approximately 12:25 p.m. We are now in Court 5. In front of me, I have Eaton Emmetum, case number 2522688. Would you please identify yourself for purpose of the record?
The man Eaton Emmetum.
Would you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? That you're going to tell the truth. That's it. Yes? Okay. State, would you identify?
Well, I drop on behalf of the state.
Okay. So the reason that we're putting this on the record now is Mr. Emitom has been charged with the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon. The case is 40 days old. It appears that probable cause has already been found. I don't know if I did probable cause on this, or if I don't know if another judge did, because I don't remember Mr. Emitom, and I was out a week. Yeah, lollygagging. So let's just do it first.
On August 2nd, 2024, officers observed a car without a front license plate, changed lanes without a signal, and have expired registration as of March 2023. Upon approaching, officers smelled marijuana. PC search returned 4.17 grams and a Lotus Smith & Wesson handgun. Additionally, there was a backpack with 3 checks that did not belong to him. Officer called Kumamoto, who said the checks were stolen from her restaurant on July 8th. When defendant broke the front window, went to the back where the checks were kept in the office, broke the hinge of the back door, and exited.
So as a result, because of that, he was charged with felony fraud on that one,
That's
on the
correct.
check. Okay. Yes, he has an open case in the 182nd. Looks like he made a $15,000 bond. With us, I am going to find there's probable cause to go forward. Well, hold on a second. We'll get there. I'll let you say your piece, but do you have a Texas driver license?
I have a U.S. private property number with the FMCSA. What my vehicle was on there, it was sticker tags, everything with my business, the Amazon States. That's with the Department of Transportation.
Is that from the state of Texas or from where?
This is federal. This is with the Department of Transportation.
Okay, but you still need a Texas driver license, and you need registration and
I did
on
all
a
my
vehicle.
steps with them because it was private property that I had. They said I didn't, if I didn't need to get registration with the state of Texas because I registered it. And they said that would be my voluntary, but since it's private property, I wouldn't have to register it.
Okay. From what I know of the law, you need a Texas driver license to be able to drive.
This is, what jurisdiction is this case being tried on? That's what I'm trying to, because I kind of don't know what it's being tried on.
It's
Criminal, civil?
criminal, yeah,
So
right? You're facing jail time, right?
I believe so. But
Weren't you taken to jail?
Yeah.
So that wouldn't lead you to believe it's criminal, right?
Yeah, but under common law, or is it military and tribunal? Because also with
Oh, I've been waiting for something like this for so long. This is so much.
This is where it gets really good. A sovereign citizen never wants a judge who isn't intimidated. A judge who hears the same old script, recognizes it instantly, and responds with pure disbelief. Judge Fletcher wasn't just amused. He looked genuinely thrilled, like he'd been waiting for this exact moment. You can almost see it. He's ready to walk the defendant through every bogus claim, recycled talking point, and fake gotcha, step by step, calmly, publicly, and with zero escape.
from what I'm being tried on, because what I was told with the U.S. side, I wouldn't have to register with the state of Texas with the registration or licensing. I do have my own place with that vehicle too as well. So,
Do you need a license to drive? A Texas driver license? That's it. You either have one or you don't. The federal government has regulated to the states through the Constitution that they have allowed the states on their own initiative to create laws regarding driving on highways and byways. So that's why you see every single state has different requirements for licensing, insurance, mode of transportation. The federal government has somewhat to do with it, but by and large, they have delegated to the states that they are their own entity with regard to creating laws in their specific highways. So that's why every single state has a different type of license, different type of insurance. Like the Texas driver license is white versus Arkansas might be yellow or red, or Hawaii might be. So that's every single state has their own laws with regard. In Texas, you have to have a Texas driver license. You also have to have liability insurance as a minimum in the event that you get into an accident. Those are the two main requirements that you need to drive. If you're going to drive a vehicle, it also has to be registered so that they know that you're driving the vehicle and that you own it or have the right to have that, so it's not a stolen vehicle.
I own the vehicle and everything. When I was here the last hearing with the judge, like what he was saying, he said that when it had applied to me, but he was going to see what they were going to say about the other court, about the probable cause of stopping me, because he said registration when it had in the front license plate, when it had applied to me.
It does apply. It applies to everybody. Everybody has to have a back license plate. They also have to have a front license plate. And so much, they also tell you where it has to be on the car. They regulate, you can't put it in the windshield.
State, right?
State,
yeah,
right. They tell you where it has to be. You can't put it on the windshield. You can't put it on, like on what's it called, on the light. It's got to be right there. They even tell you how many centimeters it's supposed to be from the street to the actual place on the car. That's how bad the state of Texas micromanages all these things. They even tell you how many damn centimeters it's got to be on the car. So you have to have a front license plate. You got to have a license, got to have insurance. So if you don't have that, you can't drive. And that's it.
I stated to him I was traveling. I wasn't arguing with him, but I was traveling. I wasn't making commerce. I used to do medical transportation, so I'm kind of aware with licensing, the registration, and everything. That's why for my private vehicles, I did that with the U.S. DOT instead of the state. But I didn't know that was
correct. You need a license. It doesn't matter whether you're saying you're conveying, whether you're traveling, whether you're, driving. It's a privilege. It's not a right, right? There's a big difference between a privilege versus a right. You have the right to walk.
I have the right to travel, don't I?
Yeah, taking your happy-go-lucky feet. You want to travel? Take those 2 feet to travel, not in a car.
Just what the 14th Amendment was saying, like I have the right to travel.
You do, yes, and you can walk your happy ass from one part to the other part. Not in a car, though. Not without a license and insurance.
Then came the coldest line of the hearing. Judge Fletcher looked the defendant dead in the eye and said, "If you want to travel, walk your happy self anywhere you like, just not in a car or behind the wheel." Boom. Brutal, direct, and effortlessly funny. It was the kind of perfectly timed reality check that lands instantly. Moments like that are why people can't get enough of watching this judge in action.
I did this with the Department of Transportation. They said automobiles were on there, carrier, bicycles.
They're wrong. I'm just telling you now, they're wrong. Whoever told you that, where you got that, it's complete. Because imagine this, Mr. Emmett Tom, and I've seen this before. Imagine that you get into an accident, right? And you kill a 5-year-old kid. What's going to happen at that point? Whoever owns that car, the other people, they're going to come after you. They're not going to go after they're going to come after you. The first thing they're going to do is, do you have insurance? And if you don't have insurance, they're going to sue you. And then they're going to attach a lien on absolutely everything that you own to satisfy the judgment they get against you. And they will take your house, they will take your car, they will take your bank account, they will attach to where if you ever want to start working and get a paycheck, they're going to garnish all that money. You have insurance, liability insurance, so that if you ever get into an accident, you don't mean to do it. You didn't mean to kill the kid. It's not an purposement. It's an accident. And accidents happen. You might be looking at your phone. You're looking at, this pretty girl that's walking across the street, and then boom, you have insurance so that if that happens, the insurance company will pay on your behalf, so you don't have to pay out of your own pocket. And they will even give you a lawyer to represent you on your behalf, because that's what you pay for when you get insurance. If you get into an accident, lawyers usually call you and say, "Hey man, tell me what happened. Was it your fault? Or was it the other people's fault?" Because we want to know who to pay. And that's why for $30 to $40 a month, you get insurance for that very purpose. And I've seen people come here, they have killed someone and they get a $250,000 judgment against them. I've seen it. And God, you'll never dig yourself out of that. So the conveying, the this, that, you need a license. You got to have insurance. And we do it with every single person that comes in.
Can I say for the unlawful carry, the possession of marijuana, the person that was in the vehicle told the officer it was legal hemp that they got from the store. They have receipts and everything in Texas. You can have legal hemp. They got it from the store, even told the officer it was theirs. He pulled me out the car. He didn't ask for any paperwork.
Now you're making the apples and oranges, right? Now we got to test it. Is it weed?
Oh yeah,
is it hemp? Understand that takes time, but you also need a lawyer to represent you.
I found my own discovery. I was representing myself pro se. And
you can do that if you want.
Yeah.
But we have to go through a series of questions.
I represented myself plenty of times. I had dismissals here from Harris County.
And for purposes of the record, so Mr. Emitom had a case with me here. It was actually June 7th of 2022. He was charged with another gun case. And that was with Victoriano. God, that was a great DA too. And I found no probable cause in that case, right? So you didn't represent yourself in that case. I found no probable cause and they dismissed it. They didn't have to dismiss it, but they did dismiss it. So other than that case, have you ever represented yourself?
Yeah, many times. I have dismissals all through here from Harris County. Traffic violations.
You're welcome to do it, and who's one of the worst? Who's one of the best presidents that in history that you can think about right now?
Wonderful to me right now.
You can't think of one good president that we've ever had?
I don't know any.
Abraham Lincoln, he wasn't good?
I never met him. I don't know about him at that time.
Abraham Lincoln said something. He goes, you know what? He who represents himself has a fool for a client.
To top it off, the defendant was acting as his own lawyer, which somehow made everything worse. There's nothing more dangerous than someone with total confidence and zero legal understanding trying to play attorney. Every word he said just dug the hole deeper. Instead of helping himself, he was making the judge's job easier. Representing yourself isn't brave or clever. It's usually just self-sabotage in a suit.
That when you represent yourself, there is an inherent conflict and there's an inherent bias, and you may not be able to see things objectively, meaning that you have your heart, you've got your soul into this case. So you may not be able to see from an outside position if they're saying something that makes sense. You're absolutely entitled to represent yourself. And if you want to do that, you're more than welcome to it. And I have no problem with you doing it. You need to understand though, if you represent yourself, you can't come at a later day and say, you know what? I had ineffective assistance of counsel. My lawyer sucked. Well, you represented yourself. You now can't complain about that. If you go to trial and you lose and I end up putting your butt in jail for a year, you can't complain. You're stuck like Chuck for a whole year because that's what you're facing. You're facing a year in jail and you got a bunch of other documents too that, so,
my discovery from that last month that I filed.
Well, let's do the question. So, what is your full name?
Eton Cheeseroke Amaton.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Where were you born?
In America.
Were you born here in Houston? Were you born in?
Texas.
Okay. You read and write English, right? Okay. Do you have any learning disabilities or communication handicaps? Have you ever been declared mentally incompetent or treated for any mental health disorder? Okay. You said last time I asked you about your educational background, you graduated from high school.
Graduated high school, some college.
How far did you get in college?
About 2.5 years.
Did you do any legal courses whatsoever?
Left that and I started doing medical transportation. I was taking classes for paramedics. I was just doing my basics. I was doing my basics.
Studying in college.
I was just doing my basics. I Getting into it, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. And when you're beginning, that's all you do anyways, right? Do you have any legal training, education, or experience?
I've experience with dealing with the court being charged before.
And any other legal? Do you know about the Code of Criminal Procedure?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Do you know about the Texas Penal Code?
I'm familiar, but I'm not too familiar with a lot of statutes and codes.
Were you here for our earlier trial?
No, I went
I know you went to the felony court, but we were in trial earlier. Did you see what happened in trial earlier?
Like a glimpse of it walking.
Okay. What I'm trying to say is that the lawyers on both sides had to introduce evidence. There's a specific procedure that you have to follow to have evidence admitted. It's detailed in the codes. You have to know that, because once you represent yourself, I'm going to treat you as if you were a lawyer. I will hold you to the same standard, and I'm not here to put you through law school because I have way too much drama as it is. I don't need any more drama, right? So if you don't do it the right way, I'm going to shut you down, right? I like to be nice to people, but I'm not taking you to school. Do you understand this? Do you understand the charges against you?
No, I don't understand the nature of it.
Okay, you're charged with unlawful carrying of a weapon. You're facing up to a year in jail. What they're saying is that you unlawfully had a weapon. As a result, you were charged, and now you're facing up to a year. Do you understand?
Yeah, what you're telling me, but I still don't understand like why I went to jail for that. So that's why.
What do you not understand?
The court procedures, or
No. I'm asking about the nature of the charges. No, it's not. Don't talk about the procedures. Don't talk about the licensing, about the conveying.
Yeah, I
no,
know I'm getting charged with unlawful carry.
Right.
Do
you understand that?
Yeah, what's going on?
Okay. You have the right, or you understand the range of punishment that you're facing, a year, correct?
That's what I've been told.
Okay. You have the right to court-appointed counsel. Do you want counsel to represent you?
I don't want legal advice. I don't need a legal team. I just want law.
If I offer you a lawyer now, would you want it? You really don't want a lawyer?
I represent myself. I could get none more by myself than anyone.
That line perfectly shows why representing yourself in court, music, almost always ends in disaster. When you're convinced you know best, your own bias clouds your judgment. You miss important details, make terrible strategic choices, and confidently walk straight into mistakes you could have avoided. Eventually, that overconfidence meets reality, usually in the form of a judge like Judge Fletcher, who calmly, methodically, and publicly shows you just how out of your depth you really are.
Do you understand that you will not be able to claim ineffective assistance counsel if you lose at a later time, whether it's in trial, whether it's in a hearing, whether anything? Do you understand that? What that means is that you cannot appeal this thing. If you're found guilty and you go to jail, you know, a lot of lawyers, a lot of defendants like to claim, sorry guys, I'll be 2 minutes. A lot of lawyers, a lot of defendants like to blame their lawyers for screwing up. And they say, hey man, my lawyer messed up. I can tell you, like, that's the number one thing that defendants complain about. And probably, I don't know this for sure, but I would suspect probably the number one reason why cases are overturned because of ineffective assistance of counsel, meaning that a lawyer, for one reason or another, messed up so bad that their cases have to be redone. You cannot complain about that at a later time.
I've seen that many times. That's why I'm representing myself.
But you can't, if you mess up, you cannot appeal this thing. Do you understand? Once, and if you are found guilty, that's it. Do you understand? You also have to comply with the same appellate procedures if you lose, meaning that if you want to appeal for one reason or the other, you have to understand the guidelines and the timing, and you have to comply with those rules as well. Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
You will not be granted any special consideration because of your lack of formal training. Do you understand this? You may fail to properly raise points of error in the trial record if we go to trial. Meaning that if we go to trial and you object to something, because you hear that a lot, right? I object. This shouldn't be in there. You have to object properly. You can't just say object. There has to be more to it. You have to state the reason for the objection. It has to be a legal reason. You can't just say I object and expect me to hold something out. You have to give the legal reason, and there's a proper method that you have to state and ask me to do things for it to be recognized on appeal. And if you don't know this, you cannot at a later date complain. Well, I didn't know that. You understand? You still don't want a lawyer. I will give you a free lawyer. Is this voluntarily, knowingly, and intelligently made? No one's forcing you to do this. Okay. Knowing all this, are you sure that you still want to represent yourself? I got to tell you, I think that you look like a great guy. You look like you're upstanding. I have no problems that you represent yourself. Understand that you need to be careful what you tell them, though. Everything that you say, even if you think you're hurting yourself by admitting one thing or the other, you could be hindering your case, meaning hurting your case, even if you think you're helping yourself. You understand? I'll make you a deal. If at any time you want a lawyer, all you got to do is ask and I'll give you one. Really. If you ever feel like you're under the gun, that you feel like someone's taking advantage of you, I'm happy to give you a lawyer at any time. I want you to understand now, as a condition of your bond though, I'm ordering you not to drive until you have a Texas driver license and a liability insurance. I'm ordering you not to drive. And I'm going to have you sign with me today an affidavit promising me you're not going to drive. If I find that you drive, I'm going to put you in jail. You understand?
I have personal.
Okay. You are not allowed to get into the driver's seat of a car and drive, convey, travel, however you want to term it. You cannot do that. And if I find that you do that, I'm going to put you in jail, and I'm going to make your bond so high, your head's going to spontaneously combust. Do you understand?
That way from my rights to anything? Or
no, but I'm telling you that you can't drive, convey, get into the driver's seat of a car. If you do, you're going to go to jail because I will revoke your bond.
Honestly, it's hard to tell if the defendant absorbed any of the message. I wouldn't be shocked if he was mentally checked out from the start. No matter how clearly Judge Fletcher explained things, it just wasn't sinking in. You could almost feel the judge's patience thinning with every blank stare and recycled argument. It's one of those moments where the problem isn't clarity, it's refusal to understand.
The only conditions I'm putting on you now are 3. No weapons, no picking up new cases, and don't get into the driver's seat of a car and drive, convey, travel. Are there any other adjectives that you can think of?
Sure there are, but
I guess I'll put etc. so that it tries to cover any type of wording, so to speak. All right. So, Mr. Ematom, I'm going to find that you are okay to represent yourself. We need you to sign a form that you're going to do that.
Even if I don't consent to any of these charges, because I do have my paperwork, I do have.
If you don't consent, just go. If you don't think we have jurisdiction, look, if I didn't think anyone had jurisdiction over me, do you think I would be here? If I was in your shoes? Hell no, man. If I didn't think that someone didn't have jurisdiction over me to be anywhere, I'm not going there. I'm not going to get out, take a shower, put my clothes on, because I like to be naked, right? I'm not doing anything like that, So if you don't think we have it, just go. Otherwise, you're here. We do, right? Because if you...
I don't know. That's why I followed.
Let me ask you this. If you just took off now, what would happen? There you go. What does that warrant mean? What does it mean?
On, or what do you mean as far as like the warrant?
As far as jurisdiction is concerned, do you think that an officer is going to go out and actually pick someone up if they didn't think they had jurisdiction to do? Do you know how much trouble they would get in Do you know if Stephen went out there and arrested someone now just for shits and giggles, do you know how much trouble he would get in? Right? If he had no reason to do it, do you know how much trouble he would get in? Right, a lot. He'd lose his job. He'd probably get sued. Right? He can't claim immunity. He'd be toast, Swiss cheese. So that's what I'm saying. If you didn't really think that we didn't have jurisdiction, then go.
I had to take care of this matter because
you know we have jurisdiction.
I don't know, because I was going to go to 515 arrest and file my civil lawsuit with the officer who did arrest me because they did some unlawful, unconstitutional things that they did to me at that time. So I was going to take it there. You know, I didn't believe they had jurisdiction over me.
I would wait to see how this case goes first before you do that. You know, see how the case goes first before you start jumping the gun.
Like, that's what I was waiting.
You know, but ultimately, you know, if I didn't think anyone had jurisdiction over me, I'm not going to go there, man. I have enough important things to do in my life as it is. I mean, you've been sitting here since 8:30 in the morning, where it's now nearly 1 o'clock. You know what I mean?
And this is why watching Judge Fletcher is so satisfying. He strips away all the nonsense and explains things in the simplest possible terms. Even a sovereign citizen simpleton should follow. The logic is clear. If you walk away and nothing happens, maybe you think the court has no power. But if you leave and get arrested, that answers the question immediately. The court does have jurisdiction. No theories, no buzzwords, no fantasy law, just reality. That perfectly grounded explanation is the perfect way to wrap this up. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe, like, and drop a comment with your thoughts. Your support really helps the channel, and you won't want to miss what comes next.